I'm Lily. I am your host of the Ladybug Laboratory podcast. This is all about knitting and various things like that. Today that I'm recording is Monday, May 15th, and if all goes well, this will go live on the 24th, 5th? Something like that. This is part B, which is going to include some works in progress and a little bit of yarn goodness, as well as some talk of what's coming up next for me in my knitting career. You can find me in all the places that are in the description down below, including the Ravelry group, and the Ravelry group is where you will find all the show notes, as well as I can't brain show notes, as well as an introductions thread and a questions thread and anything there. You can get a hold of me through that. In the Ravelry group, there are also threads for our make-along, which is the Made For Me make-along. And the idea of that is that you're making something for yourself with no guilt. There's nothing wrong with it. Make something for yourself. Crochet, knit, any Ravelry supported craft is fine. There's a finished objects thread and a chatter thread, and prizes are being drawn for both. And if there is anyone that has not claimed a prize yet for one of those, I will put your name right down here. Let's see, what else do I have to say? I don't know if there's a whole lot else for me to say right now. Other than welcome. Thanks for showing up. I do appreciate it. I really do. It's a little bit freaky, actually, how many people watch this. Sorry. But yeah. So without further ado, let me stop rambling and let's get into the delicious yarn, which is what you came here for. I have quite a few works in progress today. So, let's get started. My first work in progress is my Secret Garden shawl, which you have probably seen before. It's living in my Secret Garden project bag. And this is the Secret Garden pattern by Alana Dacos. This is what it looks like. And I am knitting this on a Magnolia sock in colorway Wick, which is by Western Sky Knits. This is it. It's beautiful. I love that green color. So last time that you saw it, I was at this Progress Keeper, which is a tree and is beautiful. And I love it. So this is where I was, kind of right there, which is, let's see, there-ish. So this is what it looks like on the front so far. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I can't see the camera particularly well, so I don't know if this is true to color or not, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's absolutely beautiful. I love these leaves and this sort of portico effect around them. I'm really, really loving how this is turning out. I'm knitting these on US Force, which is a 3.5 millimeter, I believe. And the stitch markers that I'm using came with the kit. These kits are from Little Skein in the Big Wool. And they put together kits that are usually based off of children's books or young adult books or stuff like that. And they come with the pattern and the yarn and the stitch markers and the project bag and all of that. So that's what this is. My next work in progress is, let's see, I'll show you this one. This is living in my Front Range Studio Teapots bag, which I love. And in this front pocket here, these are both pockets, is the pattern. And this is the Dryad Linen Tee. Like that. And that is by Gina Hills. I am knitting it out of Quince & Company Kestrel in this sort of yellowy colorway that I don't know the name of. And is not going well. Last time that you saw this, all that I had done is this swatch, but I hadn't blocked it yet, so I'm going to show it to you. This is my swatch. I washed it. I hung it to dry automatically because it was in the wash with the rest of my clothes. Measured it. I started it. And then I realized that I hadn't actually blocked it. I blocked it, and I measured it again, and originally my gauge had been smaller than the pattern called for, so I had gone up a size, and now my gauge is just about what the pattern calls for, so I need to go back down a size, which really sucks, because this is what I had so far, and this is an entire ball of yarn. Of course, it didn't take me very long. It is a bulky weight, bulky, I think, weight yarn. And I probably did this in one evening, but it's still frustrating that I have to rip this out. So, it was actually last night that I went to work on this again, and I pulled out the swatch and I went, did I ever block that? And I didn't. So I blocked it, and today when I came home, whatever, it dries quickly, so I blocked it last night. This morning I unpinned it and sort of bunched it up to let it relax a little bit. Measured it this morning, or today when I got home from work. I have to start over. So I'm probably going to just rip that out, rewind it up into a ball, and start again. Which stinks, but that's life, right? So I don't have anything else to say about that other than the next time you see it, it probably won't look like there has been any progress at all because I'll be in the same place, but I will have ripped it out and knit it again. That's my life, right? And it's funny, several people commented on the live frogging that I did, and that was not freaking me out because it was frogging. I'd frog all the time. I frog and I wind things up and I start over and I frog constantly to get things right. It was freaking me out because I gave up on the project. That was the first time that I had ever frogged not to start over. I frogged because I was done with that project and I felt like I was giving up, and that's not something that I'd ever done before. So, okay, this next one is living in my Fox's bag from Mama Made Waffles. And I am making the Trails of Rain hat. I don't even know if you can see that. It's this beautiful cabled hat. It is by Julia Gudkovskaya, something like that. And I am making this with more leftovers from my Plum Sweater Clan sweater. It's gorgeous. I love how this is turning out. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. So I'm knitting these on US 6s. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Let's see. I knit the rib on US 4s, which is a 3.5 millimeter, and I'm knitting the body on US 6s, which is a 4 millimeter. The pattern says that it's for fingering weight yarn, but then when you open it, it's fingering weight held double. And I feel like it should be just listed as DK weight yarn because that's what it is, right? So I'm using DK weight for this. And it's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this is the yarn that I'm using. It's Swan's Island. Washable Wool Collection. It's their DK weight. And the color is aubergine. And I can't get enough of this yarn. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's what is going so far. And these stitch markers go perfectly. Don't they go so perfectly? Those are from Silky Studio Company on Etsy. And I am also probably going to put a pom-pom on the top of the hat. And this is a gorgeous, it's so fluffy, it's a rabbit fur pom-pom. And I got it at the Black Squirrel. And I've never used a pom-pom before, ever. Real pom-pom, fake pom-pom, yarn pom-pom, wool pom-pom. I've never used a pom-pom. But I saw this and I couldn't resist, and it was so soft and fluffy, and it looks so pretty next to the yarn. It's blowing out, but I promise it does actually look pretty. Makes me so happy. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And that might get put on hold for a little bit because of the project that I'm about to show you, which I'm really excited about. And the only reason that you're seeing this is because by the time this goes live, the event will have already happened. And those of you that watched last segment will know that I had this whole weird thing with these 5-inch squares and I was keeping it a secret. Well, my friend Chase, who is amazing, is getting married this Sunday, the 21st. So by the time you're seeing this, it will already have happened. And she is the owner of the Black Squirrel. She founded the knitting group that I'm a part of, and she's really the reason that many of us are functioning human beings. It's one of the most supportive groups I've ever met in my life, and so many people in that group will say that it's the best thing that happened to them since they moved to the area, and that's definitely the case for me. So Chase is getting married, and I'm one of the bridesmaids, and I decided with a couple other friends that we needed to make something special for her. So everybody in the group is making a 5-inch square, and we're putting them together in this blanket. And this is what I'm working on right now. So that is why I had this crest from last time. That's just a center square. And then this is my square, which is going to be from my sweater, because Chase was so in love with it, and that yarn was one of the first things that I bought from her. So, and I have many more squares to put in, like this one. So it will end up being bigger. What I am using, what I'm using for this is the flat braided crochet join. I think that's what it is. And what you do, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my crochet hook so I can tell you what size crochet hook it is, but I'll just have to put it down here because I can't find it. But what you do is you single crochet all the way around the outside of the square. And what I love about this is that I can join any weight yarn and any stitch pattern, knit, crochet, whatever. They all get joined together. And so the way that it works is you single crochet all the way around the square, and you just do the same number on every square. So for this one, I'm doing 25 on each side. And then you do this where you'll single crochet, chain 3, and then you'll single crochet 2 stitches later, and you'll do that all the way around. And then the corners, you don't skip stitches in between. But then when you're attaching it, you just sort of put the single crochet, you pull the yarn between the single crochet chains of the other squares. So when this blocks out, it's going to be a lot bigger than it is now. And I'm also going to be adding squares to it. But it also has a lot of give and stretch because that join is so loose. So what I'm using is that same yarn that I used for the sweater, except I'm using the Snowy Owl colorway. And I'm going to be making a border for it to sort of frame it all together, and that's going to be using the Swan's Island worsted weight in this heathered gray. And I picked this one because I thought it was subtle enough that it wouldn't detract from the center, but substantial enough that it would sort of frame it elegantly. So I am going to be finishing this all of this week. That is what I'm doing. This will be done by Sunday, and she's going to open it at the wedding, and she's going to cry, and we're all going to be there, and yeah, so I'm finishing that this week, which means I'm not working on anything else this week, which is why all of this has been on hold. Next time that you see me, I will have finished that blanket. I will have taken pictures, and I will talk about it a little bit as part of a finished object, but you will not see it in person again. But I am so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. So, those are works in progress. So, a little bit of yarn love today. I have not worked with this, putting that out there, but I was so excited about it, I had to talk to you guys about it. So, I live in the US, where we have some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that is not readily available, right? And that's the same for every country. And a few episodes ago, you may remember, some of you, that my husband was on a business trip in New Zealand, and he is amazing, and he brought me back some yarn. And this is the Waikiwi Prince, and it's like this sort of brown with lavender and this sort of pinky dark purple. They're both 50-gram skeins, but here's the exciting thing. They are 55% New Zealand merino, 20% nylon, 15% alpaca, and 10% possum. Possum yarn! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have no idea what I'm going to make with these, but I am so excited. I've never had alpaca socks, or I've never knit with possum at all, and I'm pretty sure these are going to be socks for me, and I am so excited. He did it! He found a yarn store with possum yarn. I swear, I really honestly thought people were making that up, but it was a thing. I'm really, really happy about this. So, if any of you have worked with possum yarn before, or any yarn like this, or this yarn, and you have any suggestions for me, please let me know, because I don't want to screw up on it. But I'm really excited. So, yeah, that's my yarn love. Alright, finally a little bit of talk about what's coming next for knitting for me. So, that blanket is going to be the entirety of the week that has just passed for you guys. And the week that is currently happening for you guys, I will be probably working on a pair of mitts that I have to finish by the end of May, that I have not started. After that, I really want to focus on some of my summer knits, because I'm going to be going away to upstate New York at the end of June, and it's going to get chilly at night, in June especially, and I want something durable that I can wear that's sort of summery. So for instance, I want to finish my Druidry top, but I have two other things that I want to work on as well. So first off, I have a bunch of this yarn left over. And really long-term viewers will know that this is from my Tuscarora, which was a top that I made on like my second ever podcast. So this is Fibra Natura Flax, which is 100% linen. It was white, and I just dyed it with a bunch of different dyes. I just kind of dumped some stuff in the pot until I liked the color. It's coming out a little bit more pink than it is in person. It's more like a pinky tan. It's more like a tan with like streaks of copper. That's what it is. So I made a top out of it, but I'm planning to use this this is technically a DK weight, but it's linen, so DK weight is actually thinner than the normal DK. It's about the weight of normal fingering. So what I'm planning to do with this is make the In the Sun pattern by Erica Jakowski, which you will be seeing right now. And it is a hat. And I know, a hat in the summer, but I thought that was just way too cool to pass up. If you're looking at it now, it's got like a brim. It's like a sun hat. I know it's a knit hat in the summer, but it's a sun hat, and I thought having the holes in the head area would help with ventilation, and yeah, I just thought it was really cool and I wanted to make it. So I'm hoping to get that done before I have to head out to New York. So after the end of May, that leaves me with about 3 weeks to get this done. 2 weeks to get this done. We'll see. It may or may not happen. So that leaves 2 things that I want to get done, right? Druidry, that hat. And then I also am planning to make Morning Mist, which is by Annie Claire, and that will be in here. And this is a DK weight linen pattern, and I'm going to be using Pacifica Yarn Company Zephyr, which is DK 55 wool, 45 cotton. And this is the moss colorway that I then over-dyed. I have 7 different skeins of this. I don't have enough to make the Morning Mist. And I have 3 other individual skeins, none of which are enough for that contrast in the back of the Morning Mist, if you know what I'm talking about. You will have seen the picture by now, so you'll know. So I'm going to make the body of Morning Mist in this, but I want to make sure that I have enough, so I'm going to swatch in one of my contrast skeins that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. And then probably the one that I think is the ugliest, so that I can save the others and do something with them. And then I'm going to order 2 skeins in their Dove colorway, which is just plain cream, essentially. And those are going to be the contrast in the back. And again, this is another linen top that I'm hoping to have done soonish. So yeah, those are plans for what I'm knitting next. Those are my summer knits, if you will. Probably they'll be done before the summer has gone very far, but yeah. I'm also planning to hopefully participate in the Color and Life Double Dog Dare knit along, and I want to do John Michaels specifically, but I haven't had a chance to cast that on yet. Hopefully I will soon, maybe. But yeah, that's what's coming down the road for me in terms of knitting. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I kind of already did prattle in the previous segment, so I guess for this one I'll just say that I know these are a little bit shorter episodes. I hope you're okay with that. I know I tend to like shorter episodes. And right now, let's see, at the end of March, I had 87 podcasts on my watch later list, which is a lot. Right now, I have 16. So I'm still really behind. All of you that I have been normally watching your podcast, I'm sorry if I'm so behind. And I know there are many of you that probably have podcasts that I don't watch, and I have not had a chance to go out and start looking for other podcasts, just because I've been so crazy busy. But I should get down to normal levels now, soonish. So yeah, and I'm just trucking along. Life's good. Things are as they are. Kind of up in the air, but you knew that. So yeah, I don't know that I have anything else to say. Go ahead and let me know if you have any thoughts for what to add. I sometimes feel like all I do is I get up here and I make a list, and it would be nice to have something unique to contribute. So let me know if you're looking for anything, but yeah, that's all. I will see you guys later. Thank you for stopping by, and happy stitching. Bye.